Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I am Richard Lewis Brown. Today, December 21st, 2022. And hold on, everyone mute themselves on Zoom. All right, so I'm live on Facebook. And it's December the 21st, 2022. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. I was elected president in May of 2021. And it appears that I have a lot of people on Zoom tonight. I'm kind of surprised. It's before the holiday. But I'm also going live on Facebook. We have a lot to talk about. And I see people coming on Facebook. I'm waving to everyone that I know. And to those that I don't know, hopefully I get to know you better in the future. All right, so I'm going to get right to it. I did a live video last night, not on Zoom. It was a live Facebook video I put up on my YouTube channel, Richard Lewis Brown. And I also put up on my website, createexcellence7437.com. The video from last night, in addition to being on Facebook. All right. As we know, I suspended the duties of the three vice presidents on February the 25th, 2022, earlier this evening. Let me give a shout out to a person that's running for office in another union. Ali, I wish you nothing but success. Have a great holiday, you and your family. All right. So I suspended the three vice presidents February 25th, 2022. They retaliated against me. Listen to my words very carefully. I suspended the official duties. Everyone mute themselves on Zoom, or I have to mute everybody. All right? So,
Joe, can you mute yourself?
So, when I suspended the official duties on February 25th, the three vice presidents, they retaliated against me on February 27th. As you know, there's a lawsuit against me by DLC 744 President Bill Hall. I'm talking kind of fast. Hopefully you can understand my English, because I'm going to get to people's questions here. He served me a lawsuit. And he also served Local 1000. They're a party of interest. Then, when they did the retaliatory suspension of me on February 27th, they started doing all kinds of things. They created the illegal chair position. Okay? Now, before I finish, I want people on Facebook who see Richard Wake as trying to distract me. I want people on Facebook to respond to him, because I don't really have time for him tonight. All right, so they did all these illegal things, and it's going to come out in court. I was left with no choice but to defend myself, but more importantly, I was left with no choice but to honor my military service by defending democracy in this country. Democracy. Which means I'm defending the voting process within Local 1000 of our dues paying membership, because you have to pay money to vote in our union. Hi, Elizabeth. Now, I had to sue certain people on the board of directors because they're trying to remove me from office along with the help of all the legal counsel they can buy off your money and my money. Now remember, I was asking for support. I was raising donations. We raised about $20,000, and then that attorney said, "Hey, you're out of money. You can't afford me anymore. I have to let you go, Richard." Okay. So I think we raised almost 10,000 donations, and I came up with another 10,000. And so I had to, quote, sue these individuals on the board who are trying to demolish your vote, trying to silence your vote. Okay? Last night, they decided that they was going to indemnify themselves. That violates the California Corporations Code, I believe 5233, if I'm correct. They did a secret meeting last night. They'll never do it out in the open. And what they did, those 42 people, per the chief counsel and Giese, put them in six different groups of 7. 6 times 7 is 42. Now, and with Local 1000, they're the 43rd, but they're a real party of interest. Now, the way they did it, they said for Group A, Agenda 1, Group A, those first 7, you can't vote. But the other groups, along with the rest of the board who attended last night, they can vote. So someone brought it up. I believe it was DLC 782 President Tommy Cornelius. He said, yes, you're not allowing people in that group for Agenda 1 or Agenda 2 up to Agenda 6 to vote, but the other groups who are also being sued, of course they're going to vote to protect that group, so that group will turn around and protect them in your group when your agenda comes up. So it's still self-dealing. It's not in good faith. You're being manipulative. You're being secretive. And that's what they did. And they think that's going to hold up in court. Now, maybe it will. I don't think so. It doesn't pass the smell test. It's still self-dealing. They refused to indemnify me. They said I'm acting in good faith. When have I acted in good faith? And don't base me not acting in good faith on these meritless, baseless HR1 allegations, because they went out and hired an independent arbitrator. How much money did that cost you? The total cost is over $100,000. In the meantime, you're saying we're not going to indemnify Richard. Based on allegations. Based on allegations. And then you wonder why I said this is racist. In the meantime, back to last night. They said for each group, the cost may exceed 11,000. So you have 6 groups, 7 people per group for a total of 42 defendants. May exceed 11,000 for each group. 6 groups, that's 66,000. Just add a 6 and you'll see where these people are coming from. That's all you have to do. That's the evilness in their heart. I'm not calling them an antichrist, but I'm telling you their actions to destroy your voice, your vote, and your dignity. Hold on, Mary Dela Cruz. I'll get you in a second. DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz. They are trying to destroy you. And they think by using people like Richard Wake and other sycophants on Facebook, in your work site, to distract you, to tell you lies. It will not work. Mr. Will Buckley, thank you for your time tonight. And yes, Richard Wake is running for the Sacramento mayor in 2024. He will not get my vote. And Richard Wake is the same person that called me a chicken and a coward, and he talks about me having a mental illness, that I'm crazy. Everyone knows that my mother was schizophrenic. But Richard Wake doesn't care about that. But the minute I go into and light Richard Wake up on Facebook, now there's a problem. So he's allowed to call me any word that he wants to call me, and no one should say anything to him. That's his privilege as a white man in this country. I'm going to call it the way I see it. Back to last night. This was a travesty of justice. Of course, everyone knew that was going to happen. So what can we do in the future? I've asked you to contact me, 408-207-2339. 408-207-2339. If you're ready to take action, don't call me with your ideas. I have enough people around me giving me their ideas. I don't need ideas. I need people to help me serve the lawsuit. I have to serve my lawsuit to these individuals. Derek Roque took action. We need help to serve his lawsuit. Are more people going to file lawsuits? I believe they will. This union will never be the same because they filed a lawsuit against me because the wrong person won the election. Because the wrong person is giving you hope, giving you dignity. Because Richard Lewis Brown stands for a 21% Pay increase across the board for everyone. GOP COLA. $100 telework stipend permanent for everyone. And job security. I'm not crazy. I'm real. All 7 days of the week. So now they're doing all these things. See, it was okay for them to sue me. But now, when I have to defend myself and defend democracy in this country and defend membership and their voting rights in this union, now we have a problem. And that's what they did last night. So now Richard Wake is saying he's looking for process service because a judge told his process service he couldn't serve anymore. That's an absolute lie. See, these are the lies that Richard Wake and these other so-called individuals on Facebook are saying. And that's why I love, he won't come on Zoom and talk that stuff. All he wants to do is agitate. But sometimes you cannot let people defame your character. And so when you see me sometimes have to check Richard Wake on Facebook and then he starts crying. These are the lies that are being told. Local 1000 is telling you that I'm the ousted president through SAC-B. That I'm the, quote, outgoing president in that April 27th email. These are the lies. But you know what? I still praise God for Jesus Christ. All of this is going to come out. Last night, what were the votes from last night? Some people broke my heart by voting yes on this. So people have been begging me for months to go to these legal board meetings. And I said, they're illegal. I didn't call for it. They're wrong. I will not go to them. But I went last night. You know why I went last night? Everybody wants to know, why did he go last night? Because I have to send a message to some of these people who advise me that they don't know what they're talking about sometimes. The meetings were illegal. I didn't call for them. And I'm not going to validate somebody's bad, illegal, immoral behavior in this country because I have integrity. I always have and I always will have that. But I went last night so I could educate people. And I wasn't disruptive. DLC 772 President Mary De La Cruz, she was on the call on that board meeting. I raised my hand. Raised it. Did they address me? No, they did not. They didn't allow me to say anything. You know why? Because the person that called the meeting, DLC 744 President Bill Hall, he was the one that called me a nigger. And when you call somebody a nigger, you know what nigger's talking at your meetings. And when I told you last night, and I told you before, when he calls me a nigger, he's calling you a nigger too. And the people who he doesn't like, he doesn't allow to talk. But in my case, because I'm a nigger in his mind, he'll never let me talk. But God has a way of dealing with ugly. Oh, yes, he does. When Mary De La Cruz, DLC 772 President Mary De La Cruz was trying to talk last night, he cut her off. He was abusive to her. But all the white people on the call last night, he let them talk freely. If I'm wrong, then let Mary De La Cruz, when she talks here in a second, let her tell you if I'm wrong. And all these people last night were voting to indemnify these people when they know they won't even vote to indemnify me. And you say that's not racism? Is it hypocrisy? So racism at worst, hypocrisy at best. We still have a problem here in our union. This is wrong. So some people have said, including Richard Wake, prove that Bill Hall called me a nigger. He didn't call me that in front of anybody. It was a one-on-one conversation. Now I can prove to you with verifiable evidence that Teresa Taylor told me to suck a dick, Richard Wake. But maybe you believe that I should suck a dick, Richard Wake. Her daughter, Anne Marie Taylor, told me to eat a dick. So eating and sucking dick is part of Teresa and Ann's behavior. Because when I said that was racist and homophobic and sexist, people told me I was wrong for saying that. Not wrong for her telling me to suck a dick and eat a dick. And here's the thing. When Teresa and her daughter said that, they said they represented all of DLC 786, State Franchise Tax Board. Well, really? Because Kevin Benninger's over there, and he ran with Annika. So it appears that all these people feel like I should suck a dick and eat a dick. And then you want to talk about ethics and behavior. Let me stop. Let's go back to last night. So they voted for that last night. Chief Counsel Ann Giese said it was okay to do. That's a lie. And then they're going to hire an outside firm to handle the lawsuits. To handle the lawsuit against the 42 defendants. And to help Local 1000. Because they're also part of that lawsuit. But they won't indemnify me. That's not going to hold up in court. I don't care what they say. It's not. They did this last night. Bill Hall was abusive to people. I witnessed it for myself. Wouldn't allow me to talk. They say that violates the California Corporations Code. Now here's what you say. You say, well, Richard, you're suspended. Then why were people begging me to go if I was suspended? Why were they begging me to go and speak my voice when they were wrong? I still get the links to go to these board meetings. So if I'm still getting the link to go to the board meeting, and I'm on the board of directors, which is a fact, then why was I not allowed to speak last night? Because someone who thinks that I'm a nigger wouldn't allow that. And then the other people who feel the same way that Richard's a nigger last night stayed on their ass and stayed quiet and didn't say a word. Now, Tommy Cornelius, DLC 782, Tommy Cornelius, a black man said, hey, Richard Brown has had his hand raised. Are you going to call on him? Bill Hall, yeah, we see his hand raised. We see the nigger's hand raised. But I tried to tell you, and I told several of you who are right now on this Zoom and some other people, the meetings were illegal, they were improper, they're unethical, and even if I went to them, I'm not going to go to them and validate their bad behavior, and even if I go to them, they're not going to let me talk. But I have some of you on here who think you're so smart, but you were dead wrong. I would like to have an apology at some point in time. Happy holidays. So many of you want to call me and give me advice. My suggestion to you is you need to follow my lead. Do you want to win? Do you want to get money from your family? Do you? Then I'm here. Wasn't allowed to speak last night. All right. So I've talked for almost, not quite, 21 minutes. Now, some people have asked me, why do I even entertain people who try to distract me? You know why I entertain them? Because they think it's funny to them. But, you know, if you can't take on people on Facebook, you can't take on anybody. If you cannot take on people on Facebook, if you cannot do a Zoom, if you can't multitask, you're not ready to compete in this great country. And that's why people like Richard Wake, see, they expose themselves. Now, I take time to say this to you about Richard Wake and these other so-called individuals. Because they want to act tough on Facebook. But everybody knows where I live at 3225 43rd Street, Sacramento, California, 95817. Come on to Oak Park if you got it in you. And that's not a threat. I'm just saying, if you really want to talk to me and get serious, this is where I live at 3225 43rd Street, Sacramento. I'm not running from you. You don't need no lawyer. You don't need no high-priced attorney. You don't need the police. You come on through one-on-one. And so we can have an adult conversation. We can do it in the front yard or in the back. Everything I said from 2012 up to now, I've been consistent on my 21 dynamic changes. They said that's too much, that's too thorough. And I broke it down to what God calls righteousness, the 10 commandments, or the 10-point platform. Now, my lawsuit, you can go to the website. It's up on my website, createexcellence7437.com. You can also look at the purge situation too. They're fighting me on the purge charge that I filed against them. Let me give a shout out to Derek Roque for taking time to file a lawsuit and to also do a purge charge. All right. Now, I've talked long enough. Let's start. I'll let people ask questions. And I'll try to answer your questions as quickly as possible so I can let you continue to talk a little bit. And we'll let everyone get in here and say what they have to say. Okay, so I saw Mary Dela Cruz. Let me see if her hand is still up. Hold on. Okay, so go ahead, Mary. I got you.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I just want to say it was very disturbing when many of the board members could not get onto the Zoom board meeting last night. I had issues when I got on. I had other individuals text me to say, could you please let them know I'm trying to get on? And when I unmuted myself, Bill proceeded to tell me that I was disruptive and disrupting the meeting, and he muted me. Right after that, you had Irene Green, Annika Walls, David Jimenez, Ruth Ibarra, other people that, unmuted themselves and said the same thing. There were multiple board members that were having difficulties with those links. They were not working. They needed, assistance to get members on. He never told any of them that they were rude or disruptive. He allowed them to unmute, and then he permanently muted me. And as you know,
I'm listening to you. I'm listening.
Like you said, and everybody should understand, there were 42 people they were trying to get approval, a vote for, to pay their legal costs. Board members on there. And they would not have been able to vote because it would have been a conflict of interest for themselves. So what SEIU thought was very underminedly, however, finding a loophole, and I don't even know if that would even qualify, is they broke it down, like you said, into groups, so that the one group can vote for the other group, vice versa, so they can still capture a majority vote. But it's still a conflict of interest. They all stand to gain and profit off the members' dues. And so I sent off an email this morning to Ann Easy to let her know that the same zealous representation that she gave to the 42 individuals, I also would like the same zealous representation, and I would like funds so that I can sue SEIU and the board of directors as well.
Wait, before you get off. Last night, I heard her say because the 42 were being sued, they were entitled because they've acted in good faith. Now, when people asked her questions in the past about attending the legal board meeting on October 16th and 17th, 2021 at the Sacramento Democratic headquarters, Aunt Geesey couldn't be found for any answers. But now, all of a sudden, she has the answers. So she's picking and choosing, as you and Ron Rawson would say, she's picking and choosing when she wants to be an attorney and when she doesn't. What I would ask you is, I had to file a state bar complaint on her. And so anyone who's serious, and anyone says, well, did you really file a state bar complaint on her? I'll send you the information. Don't ever call me because I'll call back. So if you feel like your email this morning, I didn't know you had sent the email this morning. If you feel it's not enough, then, you may possibly take further action by filing a state bar complaint on her. Maybe if you and all the Heppens were to file state bar complaints on her as individuals, one by one, maybe something would happen. Here's the next question I want to ask you. Were you able to vote on all the agenda items last night, 1 through 6?
No, because what happened is not only did they end up permanently muting me, which is totally unacceptable, because what happens is when someone makes a motion or a contradiction and they go, well, when he Bill stated, is there any objection? Well, if you're permanently muted, how could you say, yes, I have an objection? They don't let you raise your hands. They don't let you speak. And Bill proceeded, okay, well, being that there's nobody objecting, let's move forward. And that's how they move forward with the votes.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, when I kept trying to raise my hand, and there were people in the Zoom waving their hands, they ended up removing me from the Zoom, so I was never able to vote on any of those items. I got removed off the Zoom.
So was you able to vote on any of the agenda items 1 through 6?
No.
So wait, here. And I'm glad, hold on a second. Stay with me, Mary. Richard Wake just made a point, and I want to address that. I know Richard Wake doesn't like me, and I don't care for Richard Wake's behavior. He says the chair has a right to silence disruptive people. Hold on, Mary, hold on a second. Check this out. By the Robert Rules of Order, Richard Wake is right. The chair has the subjective right, when he thinks someone's being disruptive, to mute them. That's funny how he defends this white man, Bill Hall. One white man defending another white man. But yet, when I had to, quote, try to keep control of the meeting, when I was being virtually attacked in my board meetings, they told me I was the one that was the problem. See, that's the racism within Richard Wake. Now,
if I can speak to that, Richard?
Yes, please do. Please do.
Again, when I unmuted myself, I just was trying to let them know that there were other board members that were having issues with their link. He called that disruptive. That's what his words towards me. Right after he muted me, Irene Green said the exact same thing and gave the name of the person. Right after that, Annika Walls did. Right after that, Bill himself did. Oh, David, so-and-so's having difficulty. None of those people were disruptive.
Mm-hmm. So wait. I want to go back to Richard Wake again, because I want to make sure I'm saying this clearly here about almost 7 o'clock on December 21st, 2022. Richard Wake, there's no racism. You're delusional. Richard Wake, your ability to defend Bill Hall when he wants to mute people, normally women or minorities, but yet when I was trying to keep control and I would have to mute people at times, you said that I was wrong. And that to me is racist, Richard Wake. Now, that one particular action you're doing of trying to defend Bill Hall is racist, in my personal opinion. Does that make you a racist person? I don't know. But what you're doing now is racist. Bill Hall is a racist because he called me a nigger. Let me go a step further. When I said that when he calls me a nigger, he's calling everybody a nigger, and you say, well, Irene Green's sitting right next to him. He's calling her a nigger to her face too, but she doesn't care. Because some black people you can call a nigger, and they'll keep on, as long as you're paying them, they'll keep acting like niggers in your mind, as long as you can pay them. So I want to make sure that when I say these things to Richard Wake tonight, I want to make sure everyone hears me. Mary Dela Cruz, DLC 772 president, Mary Dela Cruz was trying to ask questions as a board of director. All the board of directors, in my personal opinion, have egos, including me. Because it takes a certain ego to run for a position and be in charge. She was no more disruptive than when Stephen O'Leary goes off and says whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And no one ever questions Stephen O'Leary. So she was not being disruptive. And this is why I said, when all this goes to court and all these meetings and them trying to remove me from office, saying I'm a detriment to the union, when all these DLC presidents and bunk chairs get called to the witness stand, yes, you will be called. We're going to find out who's who. Because you will have to show that video, Local 1000. And if you say, well, man, we don't have the recordings. Then where's your meeting notes that I've been requesting since March 5th? Well, we don't have that either. Then if you don't have meeting notes, to say exactly what you did in this board meeting over the largest public sector union in California with a $45 million revenue stream, you've got a problem. In fact, Richard Lewis Brown ain't the problem, because I do everything on video for everyone to criticize, to condemn, or to say, I would do things a little bit differently. So I'm not breaking my fiduciary responsibility, but Local 1000, you are. And Chief Counsel Ann Giese, you are. So you and some of these board of directors, you should be removed for breaking your fiduciary responsibility. Now, let's get to this part. Richard Wake says, assuming your case is going to be heard. Richard Wake, your friend Bill Hall took me to court. I didn't take Local 1000 to court. They took me to court. Bill Hall did. So we wouldn't be going to court and spending all the dues members' money, not me. I'm not spending their money. But Local 1000 is, you're spending my money against me. This would never have happened if people could have respected the election. But because of the hypocrisy and the racism in some of these individuals' hearts, that's who they are. So we're going to continue on this Zoom. But I want to address Richard Wake. Maybe one day he'll have the courage of his convictions. That one time he did come on, and I had to, quote, educate him, and then he never came on again. See, he likes having his name shouted out. Okay? So now he's saying, well, we're talking about your lawsuit against the 42 directors. Well, Richard Wake, if you're so smart, then why is that attorney trying to take that lawsuit from Kern County and move it up here to Sacramento, Richard Wake? This guy, he's a joke. He's a joke. I'm just telling you this. So he just keeps talking and keeps talking. And then when people come on Facebook and really get at him, then he wants to get an attitude. He wants to get an attitude. Thank you, Scott Schmidt. And I have the phone text where Richard Wake is calling me a chicken and a coward. He said some other stuff. You know what? I think it's part of my PERB complaint, Richard Wake. This is all going to come out. Here's the funny thing. Check this out. And I've never said this before on video. That's why I always tell people, watch my beginning videos, watch the middle of my videos, and watch the end. Because they're all a little different. Because I may be talking loud at the beginning, into the middle, and then at the end I'm not saying a whole lot. I changed it all up, but I'll give you something really important at the end of the video. So you can't just pick and choose what part of the video you're going to watch. You have to watch the whole thing. Because you never know what I'm going to say. My enemies will tell you this. The bettors say that Richard's not going to win. That's what the bettors say. You know? That's what the bettors will say. That Richard won't win. None of you on this Zoom or on Facebook would say he didn't have a chance to win anyway. In fact, how the heck did he win the election? So, if I lose, did I lose anything? No. No. I didn't lose my love for God. I didn't lose my black identity. I didn't sell out like some of these so-called African-American leaders do across America. I didn't do any of that. Here's the problem, though. What if I win? What if they come back and say one day, Richard, you were right all along. Now what's these people on Facebook going to say? What will Richard Wake and these other so-called leaders say then? So-called wannabe leaders. I paid off the court system. I'm just saying, what do I really have to lose? I ran 3 different times to show people that you must have perseverance. Think about this. Today's the 21st, 7437, that's your number 21. We're 4 days, here's my number 4, 4 days before Christmas. What is Christmas? 2 and 5 is 7. But y'all think that I'm so crazy though, but I'm not. Now, Richard Wake keeps talking about mental distress and mental illness and all this. This man keeps talking about this. I've told people that my mother was schizophrenic, but Richard Wake doesn't care about that. That's the evilness and the wickedness within Richard Wake. My mother had mental illness. Mental illness runs in my family. That's not something that I like to share. Why do you think I fight so hard for people for financial justice? Because people would rob my mother of her money. She was schizophrenic, paranoid. But Richard Wake doesn't care. I'm going to say this to you, and then I'll come back to Mary. Richard Wake doesn't care about you getting a substantial pay increase. But yet he wants to run for mayor of Sacramento. He's that type of person. He does not care or respect my mother. My mother's passed away January 6, 1996, about 9:30 at night on the south side of St. Louis. But he doesn't care. So sometimes when you see me really dig into Richard's chest, because it doesn't take much to dig into his chest, because that's how he was raised by his mother and father. That despicable ugliness that he displays comes from his mom and dad. That's a reflection of his upbringing. You say, well, how do you know that for sure, Richard? Because, oh, it's okay, Ollie. It's okay. Don't even trip on that. Let me tell you something. When people show you that ugliness, and all I'm trying to do is get you paid a substantial pay increase for a specified period of time, and I told you I'll do 2 term limits and then I'm gone, you'll never hear from me again. But that's not good enough. Because Richard Wake and these others are so determined to create this fog, this poisonous air, so they can try to destroy, my supporters. But God ain't going to let that happen. That's not the God that I serve. But that's who Richard Wake is. So when you see me really clown him on Facebook because I'm fighting for democracy in the country that I was born in, the country that I serve, because last time I checked, Richard Wake didn't serve in any of these branches of the military. All he wants to do is cause confusion. But yet, he wants to be a mayor of Sacramento and lead people and bring people together. But yet, this is his behavior on Facebook. You may say, everyone, that, Richard, sometimes I wish you would say things a little bit differently. But I've told you, I'm black. I'm an Americanized African. I don't do things the way Europeans do them. But that doesn't make me any less. I haven't stolen your money. I haven't had secret board meetings. And you know that. Okay, so go ahead, Mary. I see your hand raised again. Go ahead, Mary.
Well, I just wanted to say someone in the chat had asked what was this board meeting pertaining to? What was the takeaway of the whole board meeting?
The takeaway of the board meeting is they wanted to make sure, because they couldn't afford lawyers themselves. Who can really afford a lawyer in America? That Local 1000 would use their money, our money, to protect them. That's their level of hypocrisy. They don't want to indemnify me. They've already showed you their level of hypocrisy when they gave Bill Hall $42,000 unlimited back in June. So last night's board meeting was to protect the 42 defendants. So that
their legal costs?
Say again?
They pay for their legal costs?
Yes. Now they're going to be defended by whatever attorney Local 1000 finds for them. My question is, why don't you have that attorney contact me and say, hey, I am legally representing these 42 defendants. Don't go to their homes, their churches, their synagogues, their temples, or their work sites trying to serve them paperwork, because I'm coming to them for Derek Roke. And then my lawsuit, someone else will have to serve them. But they'll get served and they'll get embarrassed in a peaceful manner.
Richard, I had a lot of members. My phone has been, and emails have been blowing up because members, I don't know how they got wind of it, but they want to know, why was this not disclosed to members about this meeting?
So let me explain this to you. That's a great question, Mary. Local 1000 has a history of spending your money in secrecy. And then they'll tell you in an email a day or two later, oh, we had a great board meeting, this is what we did. But they never checked in with you. Because if you think about it, the answer is easy. Why would they want to tell you anything? They're trying to remove your duly elected president who is always telling you everything. It's just common sense. They're never going to tell you anything they're going to do until after they've done it. And then they're going to try to justify it. The same way they try to justify the trip to Norway. That's stupidity. And Bill Hall and David Jimenez were arguing back and forth. I have the emails. See, I got all this stuff on these individuals. So when your people are asking you, why are they not being told? They're going to tell you the email probably tomorrow to justify what they did, to justify their bad behavior. This is a conflict of interest like you stated, Mary. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mary.
No, I was going to say, when members had texted me prior to yesterday's meeting, and that's how I caught wind that SEIU was paying for their legal fees. I'm one of the board of directors. I hadn't heard anything like that, and I did reach out to Annika Walls, and I texted her and I said, "Is this true?" And David Jimenez, and I said, "This is what I'm hearing," and I was told by Annika Walls, "Well, this is her comment to me. Well, we'll eventually vote on it." I go, "Oh, is that the process? We spend now, vote later?" I mean, I don't understand how this works.
Wait, let's slow down for a second. That's why I want you to keep talking, because you'll get all this out of me. Remember when they did their retaliatory suspension of me, and Betty Jackson Stewart and others were like, "You need a lawyer," and so she referred Rodney Diggs, and we got Rodney Diggs for a second. When that HR 1 process was going on, Mary, Annika wasn't doing all her own talking. She had an attorney talking for her. His name is Phil Andonian. Let me spell his name for you. Capital P, H-I-L. Capital A, N-D-O-N-I-A-N. I'm going to put his name up here on Facebook. He was representing her. She wasn't paying him. Local 1000 was. Well, how did that happen? The board didn't approve to hire an attorney for Annika to do an HR 1 against the duly elected president. See how easy that was? But he got paid. And he continued, the case is over. So he got all his money. Well, how much money did we pay him? That man's on the East Coast. That man has appeared on CNN. He ain't coming cheap. So when Betty was able to talk Rodney Diggs down to $350, I didn't like that, but we didn't have that much money. We were raising money, so we did the best we could. Rodney Diggs is a $600 high-priced attorney here in the state of California with a reputation. And even though him and I had a breakdown because I couldn't afford to keep paying him that $350 an hour, and I was questioning him on the bills and everything, that man is a $600 an hour top-of-the-line attorney in the state of California. Betty Jackson Stewart was right on that. So Phil Andonian, if this man's $600 on the West Coast, Phil's at least $600 or more. He's probably $1,000 on that East Coast because he's probably been recommended by SEIU International. So then you say, well, Richard, are you sure that your numbers are right? Well, then why is it when I'm asking for Local 1000 for all their financial spending, and then show me your spending versus your expenses versus your revenue on a monthly basis? I've been asking that 6 different times. And they don't want to tell me what your financials are and where they're spending money on these outside attorneys. This is clear. They paid the $42,000 to Chris Katenzbach. Well, how many hours of work did he do? No one knows but Bill Hall. Okay? Then they paid Phil Andonian. Now they voted last night to pay, I don't know what law firm they're paying last night. I can't remember what law firm they're trying to pay. Then this morning I get a thing, a woman claiming that she is representing Local 1000 on my PERB complaint against Local 1000. Well, hold on, Mary. I sent that to the board, even though they have me now blocked from sending certain board members emails. So the lady is saying she's representing Local 1000 on the PERB. Well, that PERB thing didn't come up last night. Wasn't no special board meeting on the PERB. Well, how much money is this lady, Kerianne Steele and her law firm, how much are they getting paid?
And if you ask those questions, you're a disruptive board member, and you get kicked off and muted because they don't want that to be disclosed to members or to other board members that aren't aware of it. Rocky has his hand up.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, Rocky. Go ahead, Rocky.
Hi, Richard. First,
Hi.
I'd like to say thank you. I got my stewardship status under your president. residency in January of 2022.
All
And I previously applied and gotten denied, and my mom was a union steward for Nurses Association, so I was really excited to be a union steward for SEIU. But I would just like to ask you, what are you doing to prepare for your upcoming court case in Bakersfield? And what kind of documentation do you have to prove your allegations against these board members? Because you're going to be going up against some, high-priced lawyers now that they've had a secret meeting and voted to get these guys on retainer. So what are you doing to prepare yourself for this Bakersfield court case? And when is the court date again?
So let me say this to you. Would you ask the president of Ukraine what he's doing to fight Russia? Would he tell you his whole game plan? He wouldn't.
That's a good point.
He wouldn't.
But you have some very substantial documentation to prove all this stuff, so that way you have a solid court case. Because I'm not a fan of the way SEIU is run either, and I liked having you as a president.
Well, Rocky, first of all, I'm still the president, even though they got this retaliatory suspension on me. And I'm just watch how this call goes. Just watch how this call goes. If you want to know about what I did on that Kern County, all you have to do is go to my website. And there's a link on the first couple tabs. It says PERB. Oh, gosh. Oh, it's PERB and HR1 and lawsuit. And the lawsuit link with the case number is there. You can go to the Kern County website and read for yourself. That way, it's public knowledge. And when I put my documents up, I put public. I don't put confidential. So everyone can read it. Now, you say, well, how are you going to go up against these high-priced lawyers when you're only representing yourself, Richard? I don't know. That's the truth. They know it, and I know it. The lawsuit's about indemnifying me. So you say, well, how is it you have to put a lawsuit in to indemnify you, but yet they can vote in the board meeting to indemnify themselves? Now you see why I said when this all goes to court, they're not going to win this. And I know it. They say, the Local 1000's argument, Rocky, is I have acted in good faith. I have acted in bad faith. I didn't do my fiduciary duty as a board of director. Listen to this. And so they had to do an HR1 on me. Well, wait a minute. All these allegations, Annika and David were there all along. And so was Irene. So did they ever send me emails stating that I was acting improper? No. The ladies, when they did that quote suspension of me, they were mad because I was holding staff responsible for their actions. We had to write up 2 different staff members, and they got mad about that. And I said that anytime the staff goes into a work site, you got to contact that VLC president, let them know what you're doing. And Annika got an attitude because Annika wants to be president because she was trying to remove me from office through the HR1 process before I was even sworn in on June 27, 2021. Rocky, I don't need an attorney to explain that. I can explain that myself to the judge. But here's the catch. Is he going to be a judge? Is he going to be a jury? Who's to say, Rocky? Because I can guarantee you, if it's a jury, it's a slam dunk. I'm going to win. I already know. If it's a judge, judges in Kern County, I don't know. The judge up here in Sacramento, Stephen Gerbisher, is he going to give me a fair trial? No. Maybe. I don't think so. Because when they filed that lawsuit, Bill Hall, they went to that Department 27. They knew what they were doing. Good move on their part. But what they really did is this. They've destroyed all hope for Local 1000 currently. And that lawsuit that Bill Hall put on me, that I had to defend myself. So I'm trying to do an indemnify lawsuit so I can get an attorney, Rocky. So I can have an attorney sitting right next to me to tell you, hey, this is what it is. I had to do that because of what they're doing to me. Trying to protect the voice of the voters. That's why I had to file the lawsuit. See, all my videos are going to come up at some point in time in the courtroom. Please do. That's why I do videos. That's how I won the election, Rocky. From 2015 up to now, I do videos and hold me responsible. Good days and bad days. Ain't nobody perfect. When President Biden, Rocky, called that reporter who was getting out of pocket, called him a son of a bitch, people said, but that's a white man. If I had called Richard Wake a son of a bitch, If I had to call Bill Hall, son of a bitch. If I had to call Teresa Taylor a bitch. If I had to call her daughter a bitch. Well, you're your problem. See the racism, Rocky? See the racism. I'm just telling you this. So I'm still, I'm working around the clock. Now, when people call, what I want people to do is call in and say, hey, Richard, I'm going to help you serve that lawsuit. Send me one and one person's name, and I'll get that one person done for you. Take that pressure off of you. That's the call I want to get from people when they call in and have a question. So when you ask me about what is your strategy, did you ask Local 1000 what your strategy is to remove me? Did Bill Hall take time to talk to you? Does Bill Hall have your phone number? Do you have Bill Hall's phone number? Can you text him anytime you want and he'll respond back to you? You do not. None of these so-called Local 1000 leaders will call you at any time of the day or night or respond to you by email and put it in writing. Or do a video out in the open, unscripted, unedited, unrehearsed. None of them will. Because the truth of God, of righteousness, is not in them. Is that the whole board? A percentage of the board. Okay. So if you have any more questions, Rocky? Okay, I guess not. All right, so we'll go to Mario. I'm sorry, go ahead, Rocky.
I just said, thank you for responding, Richard. I appreciate that you're easy to talk to and that you respond to people because, a lot of the board members with their secret meetings and all these decisions they make, they're not approachable and you can't ask them questions.
And before you get off, Rocky, I remember you because back in 2018 when I was campaigning, I met you, I want to say at like an eatery. And then I had to go up on stage and say a few words because this other guy was running for political office. So I do remember you. I have a good memory. All right. So if you want to get back in line and raise your hand again, I'll let you. Mario, then we go back to Mary. So go ahead, Mario.
Yes, good evening, Richard. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather.
It's okay.
But anyway, I wrote a list of questions that I want to submit to SEIU 1000. So my question is this: who's the best to address to?
The board, the whole board, the whole board.
Board?
Yes.
Or the chief counsel.
Put the whole board with the chief counsel.
The whole board.
Yes, the whole board emails are on my website.
Okay.
And then that way I'll make sure I get a copy of it because I'm part of the board. And then you also want to do the chief counsel and Giese.
How do you spell her name?
Anne, and then Giese, Giese. And so I'll give you her email. It's agiese at SEIU1000.org.
Very good, thank you, Richard. Because I'm a little slow on these kind of things, but I want them to answer my questions. If they don't answer, that's going to be an answer in itself, and I will proceed therefore. But I want to keep you updated because, frankly, I don't want to blindside you because you're still our president. Okay, but I do have a lot of questions of the board. Everything from legal costs to the trips to Washington to Norway, financial statements, the policy file. I mean, this policy file that I just read, that was quote unquote June of 2022. It is not understandable.
So
I mean, it is not understandable. I don't know how to even make a vote on it.
So here's the thing: they don't have to tell you anything.
Okay, that's good. That'll be an answer.
Yeah, if they respond to you, it'll be very vague. Remember, another person years ago had to take them to court, and then she was only allowed to look at the financials for like a couple hours, and she could take notes, but she couldn't get copies of anything. Now, you've seen me put it on Facebook, but you don't follow me on Facebook. I've asked for copies of all kinds of stuff as a board of director. They won't send it to me. They won't.
And if they don't, that'll be an time the policy changes, I think they will have to give me an answer to that because it's changed radically from the original policy.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Everyone, the man said, Mario said, that the policy file has and the bylaws have been changed radically. Radically. That's a violation of California Corporations Code.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
and quite frankly, I have tried to read that the current policy file. It makes no sense to me. This chair, how does the chair and the president work?
Wait. Stop right there. Stop right there, Mario. No, wait. Hold on, Mario. The president doesn't have any powers at all with these illegal changes. All the powers were transferred to the chair. That's why I said that's a violation of the California Corporations Code. Period.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
No. It makes sense. No, it makes perfectly good sense.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. No. They took all the powers of the president and gave it to the chair. That's what they did. And the people voted for the president under those current bylaws and policy file from back in 21. And if they were voting for a person who they knew didn't have any power, then they'd say, who cares who that person is? We want to know who the chair is going to be. But the chair is only voted on by the board. Well, then that takes the power from the members. This will not hold up in court. I'm telling you this. Okay.
And that's this. It makes no sense because I'll tell you what, for me.
Okay.
What's the use of voting for a president?
I just said that. Yeah.
And if you read the policy file, okay, all these powers are given to the chair, and there's nothing in the bylaws or the current policy file on how to remove or hold the chair accountable.
Hold on a second. Now, so you're telling me that you, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. You're telling me that in the policy file, it's supposed to say that the chair works at the pleasure of the board, so the board can remove the chair anytime they want. That's how it's supposed to work. That's what they said.
No.
They said the chair works at the pleasure of the board.
I don't read it that way. It says pleasure of the board. What does that mean?
That means the board can remove you anytime they want. That's what that means.
What I'm saying,
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying is this: it's very vague. The policy file is very vague when it's just written current, and it can be interpreted very different ways. And
Yes.
I don't see how I don't see how any board member could have voted on it with so many legal ambiguities.
Because that's who they. But Mario, listen, Mario. You're trying to make sense of this. That's the wrong way of how you look at this.
Well, I understand that.
Right.
But I got to understand what the rationale.
There is no rationale behind this. You're making this. This is the problem, and I'm not trying to sound mean to you, Mario. There is no rationale behind this except they want the powers to somebody else and not with the president because the wrong person is the president right now. That's your answer. There's no more to it than that. That's all you need to know.
Well, I guess we're trying a little different strategy. That's this.
Okay.
Use their own words against them. Okay. The way they're written.
Right.
I can ask questions.
Right.
And they will not be able to answer coherently because I don't see how any. I'm not a legal scholar or anything. But I go, wait a minute. There's no accountability. What are these words? They're so vague. They're not defined.
Well, listen to this, Mark.
I would use their own words against them.
You can't. You have to say what they did was illegal. That's the word. There's no more thought process behind that. Because the more you try to go into the weeds with them, the more they can get an attorney to say, oh no, it's like this. What they did was illegal. It's like arguing with a fool. Don't try to rationalize with a fool. You don't do that. It's like you trying to rationalize with a bully. The bully said he wants $10 and you talk him down to $3. No. You don't give him anything, period, in the conversation. What they try to do is get you thinking, and it's like this, it's like that. Remember when Bill Hall said that he was going to work at the pleasure of the board and he didn't want union leave? Well, look at the policy file now. He has full-time union leave. That was a lie. But these people on the board who thought they were so smart, who was trying to go in the weeds with him, were dumb. Don't go in the weeds with a dummy.
Well, I agree with that, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've always found, though, is
Right.
that how you go before a judge, catch them in their lies, because a judge will never like a liar. I have seen that too many times in court. The case may be for them, but if they start lying, forget about it. No jury, no judge will believe.
Well, hold on. Listen to this. When I have asked for all the videos from March 5th up to now, they don't want to show those videos. You know why? Because you will see him lying on the videos.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's simple. I don't have to have a long conversation with a fool. What I simply say is, just give me the videos. Well, they're not going to produce the videos. They're not going to listen to this, Mario. I asked them in the last request, my sixth request, I believe on, I think it was November 23rd. I said, I want to see the monthly breakdown of the revenue you bring in versus the expenses you pay out.
That's what I asked, yeah.
Okay, now, someone's related to me that the union can go 5 months without a dime before it goes bankrupt. 5 months. Okay? That's something that I would tell someone to memorize. Because when people say, well, I'm going to quit the union, I'm going to hurt the union, you're not going to do anything. Because not enough people will quit and last without new people coming in those 5 months. Not enough. However, like Rocky was saying, what is your game plan to win that lawsuit in Kern County against those high-priced attorneys? Question is, the pressure is on them. They have to win. No one expects me to win.
That's true.
So, when you send that email, they're going to ignore you, or they're going to give you a bunch of BS. Now, I told Mary De La Cruz, I told quite a few people. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And you know what? That would be an answer. Why would a per?
Oh, okay. I back up. If that's your mindset,
They
that
were uncooperative.
okay.
They did not ask in the best interest of a union member. I submitted the money, and I do not know how the money is being distributed.
Well, wait a minute. Perb's going to tell you. They don't have to tell you anything. Perb's going to tell you to go through your DLC president, because as a board of director, they're entitled to that information, and then they can turn around and give that to you.
Well, I submitted many questions to our DLC president. I made no reply.
Who's your DLC president?
Nisi Davis.
Hold on 1 second. Gertrude Nisi Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Well, guess what? She's not on my lawsuit. Now, she was supposed to be. But she's not on there. Because if she had been on there, guess what? She would have been the 43rd. A few people weren't on that lawsuit that maybe I could have put on there. But she's never going to tell you anything. Because the truth of God is not in her either. See, I'm calling these people out because I already know what they're going to do. When it's time to decide my future in this union, see, they're going to have a secret board meeting. And they're going to try to remove me. And she'll vote to remove me. That's who your president is. And you can tell her that I said so. I don't back up from nobody. When these people come, they're going to bring some friends. And I mean that. I don't care who you are. I know what I know. And when I tell you the truth of God is not in these individuals and the wickedness and evilness that's in their hearts, and I'm not telling you that I'm some saint that got sent down from heaven, Mario, because I ain't no saint. I'm not a saint. I have character flaws just like you and just like everyone else. But when it comes to your money, I am not going to fail you. Now you can take that to the bank.
That's very true, Richard. But a white man once told me, truthfulness is the foundation of all virtues and organizations. right now we don't have truthfulness.
You're right. You're right. You know what's funny when you say truthfulness is the foundation? Is that why when they say there's no trust, you can't build? Because in order to have trust, you got to have truthfulness, the two T's? I'm just saying, I don't know.
Yeah, very good point.
All right, so we'll come back to you. I see.
Dr. Mary, yeah.
Okay, then we'll come back to you. And anyone else that wants to raise their hand. Because you and Mary, you'll get it out of me one way. Y'all pull it out of me one way or the other. So go ahead, Mary.
No, I just wanted to reach out because, and kind of to follow up when they say, how can these board members do what they do or vote the way they vote? Mario, I always ask, are you on union leave? Because a lot of them have skin in the game. You know, our VPs have visa, unlimited, I don't know if it's unlimited, 20,000 or what it is, that it's not reconcilable.
I think it's a $5,000 credit card.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to submit receipts is what I'm saying, Mario, to account every month when that $5,000 gets on that Visa card. And if you're on union leave, Mario, as a board of director, that means you don't go to your state job and you get to stockpile your sick time, your vacation. There's a lot of other benefits. So, and if I'm the person that's approving your union leave for years on end, I guarantee you, if you've been off of work for 8+ years, you don't want to be sent back to work. That was the big uproar when Richard got elected. Because, you know, how dare you? Some of these people were off union leave for years. And so, of course, they're going to vote with the person who is going to continue that or keep them off. And that's unfortunate because that's not what this member-led union is about.
Mary, stay with me for a second. Mario, are you there?
Oh, yes.
Hold on. So, hold on. Wait, I want to talk to you and Mary at the same time. First thing Mary brought up was the union leave for the 3 vice presidents. Remember when I was elected, the former president had reduced the former VP's union leave to 1 week a month. I had made a campaign pledge because I was trying to work with people. And I said, if I'm elected president, those vice presidents will have full-time union leave, which was going to be a violation of the policy file because the policy file said only 1 week per month. And I said, well, I'll put them on special projects. And that's what I did. I put them on special projects. So, Annika, David, at that time it was still Tony until Irene came on, okay? When I became president, I think it was within a week or 2 weeks, I can't remember. I think within a week or 2 weeks, I put Annika, David, Tony, and when Irene came on, full-time union leave for their whole term. For their whole term. Does Annika care about that? No, because she's self-entitled. She felt like she deserved it anyway. And so did David Jimenez. I can't really speak for Tony so much. And Irene, I put her on full-time union leave. That's that part. I want to get to the credit card real quick. I'll make sure they had their credit cards. Full use. Not no limited use that Yvonne had put on her credit card. And I didn't ask them where they spent their money at. I said, here's a credit card. And then when they said that I was spending money wrongly and that I was a detriment to the union, we put the credit card statements up. Come to find out, Yvonne Walker took a trip to Israel, gave Teresa Taylor $1,800 for her Napa resort because she lost the election in 2018 and put Teresa Taylor on full-time union leave. She was on full-time union leave from 2015 all the way to August of 2021. I bet she's back on full-time union leave right now. Okay? And then she gave Margarita for losing in 2018, she gave her a $4,500 trip to Walt Disney. And then hired her for staff at $160.
Napa Valley for a spa day.
That was for Teresa Taylor for $1,803. Some things I have ingrained in my head. I don't know why. But that I don't. So when you talk about that credit card stuff, I'm glad that you brought that up, Mary, and about the union leave. Because I put these people on full-time union leave, these vice presidents, and got cussed out for doing that. And then later on, I think they put it in the policy file. I think the changes they made with the illegal board meetings, I think they put that in the policy file to give them full-time union leave. But see, I fulfilled what I said I was going to do off my campaign promise. So when you talk about truthfulness, Mario, and being a foundation, so sometimes I may be a little this or a little that, but you and Peter and everyone on the Zoom call and on Facebook know whether he's right or whether he's wrong. He'll tell you what he's going to do, and then he does it. We may not like it, but it wasn't no surprise. So the only thing that I kind of really failed at was reducing the dues by 50%. So I have currently, listen to my words carefully, at 7:41 on December 21st, 2022. I have currently failed on reducing dues by 50%. Currently, I have failed in that. Currently. I was supposed to do it on day one, and I didn't do it. Okay. I ain't forgot. Trust me. So, like I stated tonight, these high-priced lawyers, Dayan represents Local 1000 regarding Bill Hall's lawsuit against me. Okay? Now listen to this. They may change this up. This is where some of my supporters are like, oh, you should have said it because now they don't change it up, Richard. So what? Let them keep changing up. Because all the lies that you keep saying and doing is going to catch up to you. Dayan, high-priced attorney from D.C., Local 1000 is paying him to handle the lawsuit that Bill Hall has filed against me and Local 1000. But yet, when I am going after these 42 defendants, he tried to respond and said, well, Local 1000 is using me to fight your lawsuit against the 42 defendants. Okay? That's one. Chris Katenzbach was Bill Hall's attorney, but Local 1000, they had the board meeting, they paid him. Unfortunately, he passed away. Then they got Glen Rothner, SIU International. I believe he's here I think he's here in California. He's high priced. Excellent attorney. But we paid money to International, so whatever money they're paying him is the money we paid International. This is not complicated. Now they've got this Kerianne doing this PER charge that I filed against Local 1000. So they got to pay her and her law firm all this money. And no one knows how much money is being paid. Now, they're going to say, well, Richard, he had attorneys years ago. When he was in there, he had attorneys. He was doing this and doing that. You're not comparing the same thing. You're just not. They'll tell you these things to manipulate you, but it's not the same thing. Now, I told you Phil Andonian, the other high-priced attorney in D.C. So how many high-priced attorneys are they using with our money to remove the duly elected president and destroy your voice? And this is why I said, when Bill Hall called me a nigger, he's calling all of you a nigger, whether you understand that or not. It ain't just me. And so if you like being called a nigger and having your money taken from you and used on things that you don't approve of, and having your voice taken from you in the voting process, then just sit back and don't do anything. All right. I see E.B. Lynch. Go ahead, E.B.
Thank you, President Brown, for taking my call. I came on the call a little late. I had some appointments today.
Okay.
But I heard what you said about, I just heard what you said about them saying that you had attorneys and so forth. There is a difference because your attorneys, that they were actually there to protect the interests of Local 1000. They weren't there to protect the interests of the person suing Local 1000. That's a big difference. So I don't understand how someone can compare that because Bill Hall was suing Local 1000 and we're paying him to do so. That's not okay in my book, you know, and sometimes I think they get wrapped up in, oh, Richard. What they don't understand is Richard is representing all these different voices of the members at large. It's not Richard the person, it's Richard the president that So it shouldn't be constantly about, oh, Richard did this and Richard did that. He's the president of Local 1000, and that's why we are saying, no, you can't do that. It's not okay, because as you sue Richard, you're suing Local 1000 because he is representing our voice. And if we, as the members at large, don't like it, then we should be the one to say, okay, Richard, we're voting. The process is there. We are voting to say, Richard, we want somebody else. But we never did that. And we don't want that, because as much as we don't always agree with you, sir, the fact is you are getting things done. The others are not vocalizing our concerns. They're going to the state and saying, well, you know, these people say that this is what they want. May we get a change? No. Okay, thank you. That's not what we want. We want a leader who goes there and say, okay, this is what we've been dealing with. Enough is enough. So when we say Richard is too much, yes, because that's what we need. We need somebody that can be able to and have some kahunas to say enough is enough. Thank you, President.
Oh, okay. Wow, I've never seen EB talk that quick. All right. I hate when I don't like to say So we talked about the board meeting last night. They voted to self-indemnify themselves. Even though they'll say, well, I didn't vote to indemnify myself, the board did. But the people who voted in the majority to indemnify you were also being sued. So of course they voted to indemnify you, so you turn around and to indemnify them. And then they say, well, that doesn't really violate the corporation's code. Yes, it does. It violates the corporation's code because you did it in bad faith. That's still self-dealing. It's still self-dealing. And that's not going to hold up in court. Now, we talked with all these different attorneys, and I'll put up a little thing here when this video is done. I need help serving these lawsuits. I need help serving mine, and I need help to I can help serve Derek Rokes. Everyone that wants to call and tell me their ideas, I don't need your ideas. I need people who want to put the work in. If you don't like what Ann Giese has done, file a state bar complaint on her. Stop complaining about her. File the complaint and send it to me. Put the work in. Stop asking other people to do your work for you. Do it yourself. Put your own work in. Stop waiting to get my permission. You don't need my permission. If you saw someone taking a bat upside someone's head in the neighborhood, would you come to me and say, well, hey, do you think I should help out? All right, I see a hand raised. Go ahead, Derek. Derek Roke. Go ahead, Derek.
Good evening, President Brown. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to reiterate the message that you just delivered. If everyone out there can just help out in some way, we got a ton of legal documents to be preserved right now, myself included, and I'm asking everyone out there to take a stand. Today I got a message from a woman, her name is Kerianne, and I'm like, again? There's another? And you already brought this up earlier, but I was flabbergasted. I was like, there's another attorney that Local 1000 is paying. And if Ann Giese, the legal chief counsel, is so good at her work, then why the hell does she do things? She should be like, you know what, I got this. But no, instead they're paying, how do you want to imagine what amount of money they're paying? And this woman has the audacity to write me a letter to my personal email and ask me for a request. I don't do any correspondence like that. I take action. I want everyone out there that's listening, do the right thing for the members, do the right things for yourselves, keep your voices loud and proud, and fight back. Take some action. Don't just deliver these suits. Go out there. File your own suit. You're tired of getting lost.
Hold on, Derek. Hold on 1 second, Derek. Let me go to somebody on Facebook. Lo Michelle, you said you're getting background noise. My heater came on. Can you hear what Derek said? Lo Michelle, did you hear everything Derek said? Hold on 1 second here. Lo Michelle, that's on Facebook. Did you hear? Okay. So, Derek, my heater is kind of calming down. It's getting a little softer. You're going to have to speak up and talk a little louder because I want Lo Michelle on Facebook to hear what you just said.
I got no problem repeating it. I'm sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so my voice might not be all there.
Yeah, my heater came on for a second, so hold on. Because I want people on Facebook to hear what you said. This is why I talk so loud. Because if my heater comes on, I don't want someone to say they didn't hear every word that I said. And that's why people, when you come on, you have to speak up. Okay, so I want you to say it again because I want Lo Michelle, to hear you. Because she's interested to hear what you had to say. So go ahead.
All right, is that better?
You have to speak up. Speak up. Pick it up. Speak up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, it's time to start fighting back. I need help serving documents, legal paperwork. If you could help me and President Brown out, that would be great. Tell your friends, tell everyone in your DLC to take action. We're done with the talking, we're done with the games. We are filing legal documents now to fight back against these corrupt, just call them what they are, they're dictators, okay? We're going to end the games. The time for bullshit is over. 2023 is going to be a good year, and it starts with us taking action and taking back our union.
Okay, stay on. I'm going to bring Evie on. I see her hand raised again. So, because I want to address you and Evie at the same time. So go ahead, Evie.
Thank you, President Brown. I'd like for everyone to know that their action petitions are still on your website. We need those filled out. If you are not able to do a lawsuit or for whatever reason you can't help with the lawsuit, please get your those action petitions filled out in your work areas. If you know people in your neighborhood that also are state workers, represented state workers, please get them to fill it out. As many signatures as we can get, we need. Thank you.
All right. So my heater has calmed down. It's turned off. So hopefully Lo Michelle heard that. I'm going to say it again for what Evie said. On my website, createexcellence7437.com. On one of the first couple tabs, it says, I want to say member choice action petition. Now, you don't have to be a member. Anybody can sign that petition. All right? But it was highly encouraged that I do this. It was Evie's idea. So I tried to term it from an old Air Force acronym, MyCap. 15 minutes or less, I'd have to take apart from the warehouse to the airplane on the flight line. All right, since people are questioning if I was actually in the military or not, whatever. So anyway, she's absolutely right. That membership choice action petition, please fill it out, get your coworkers to fill it out, and send it in. All right, go ahead, Derek. Oh, wait. So, Derek, are you there? Derek, are you there? All right. Let me say this to Evie Lynch and Derek Roque. I'm just going to call it the way I see it, since someone was saying that on Facebook a few days ago. During my HR 1 situation, I lost my attorney. He no longer represented me because of financial reasons. I couldn't afford to keep paying him. And I was asking for the detailed billing, and he didn't want to send it until like sometime in October. He finally sent it to me after me asking him 5 or 6 times. Derek Roque and Evie Lynch assisted me like geniuses in my HR1 process. Let me acknowledge that right now. They have been adamant about don't go to those illegal board meetings. We support you. We've had our disagreements, as Evie has told you repeatedly, on a lot of stuff. But they were adamant, don't go to the board meetings. They were shocked that I went to the one last night. They have been consistent. They have been defiant. And when we had the member protests that was unplanned, uncoordinated, unscheduled, unrehearsed, that happened on March 5th, 2022 at the Local 1000 headquarters, they didn't criticize me. Evie Lynch and Derek Roque did not criticize me. And I want to thank them before the new year comes in for all their amazing work and support that they've done. And I'm just going to be honest. A lot of people have been a great inspiration to me. Evie and Derek have put in the work. I see Yolanda Williams. It wasn't for her, it wouldn't have been no 17,000 petitions for the essential worker premium pay. That's Yolanda Williams. Yolanda Williams is still trying to help me. I see Elizabeth Collins on Facebook putting that work in. I see you, sister. I see Timothy Bolter. I see Cheryl Butters. I see Will Buckley, Lo Williams, and Lo Michelle, and anyone else on Facebook. Virginia Quezada. I see you, Virginia. Thank you. If I didn't acknowledge you for you helping me defeat these lies and liars on Facebook, forgive me. I will get your name memorized. Jackie Pace. Jackie, we have to talk. To those in headquarters DMV, Darren and the rest, I'm with DMV. I'm with CDCR. I'm still with Lassen County. Oh, I guess I spoke Jackie up. Go ahead, Jackie.
Sorry about that. It took me a minute to get off mute.
Okay.
I was trying not to speak tonight because I'm upset.
Oh, boy.
And
Okay.
so I just need to get a few things off my chest. And
Okay.
everybody, you guys kind of already said all the things that I've been feeling, thinking.
Okay.
I'm not on Facebook, but I do want to sign the petition. I do want to do a couple other things. And yes, we can talk. And okay, I don't like the idea of giving somebody money or giving somebody power to undermine me, who is supposed to be helping, representing me, helping me on my job, helping me get money. But all I'm doing is paying them to undercut me. I don't know why anybody would do that and want an organization or need an organization who would do that. I'm paying money for you to hurt me on purpose in all kinds of ways. No, I don't want that. I'm not signing up for that. I don't get my money for that. And we've been told for a long time, we don't have the union that we think we have had. We've never had it, apparently. And I'm angry, you guys. I'm so disappointed. And somehow somebody, they think this is right. They think this makes sense morally, ethically. You know, they're telling you in all kinds of ways, we don't care. Keep it clean. We don't care nothing about you. We're not interested in you. We want your money. We want you to do some leg work for us. We want to work you, but we don't care nothing about you. Your opinion, your voice, whatever you say don't matter to us. You come over here and do what I tell you to do, and you're going to pay for me to tell you what to do. You're going to pay me money for that. No, sir. No, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're doing that to us, so who thinks we're going to get money? anything because we move. Who thinks we're going to get anything that's beneficial to us? We are already paying for our health care that was guaranteed by law. It was a law. And somehow we got the okie doke, got the rug pulled out from under us to pay for what was already guaranteed to us for free. What is happening? Are you serious right now?
Can I wait? Wait. No. Wait. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I want you to keep that same energy. To everyone on Facebook, take a picture of what Richard Wake is saying about that wasn't a protest, that was an illegal break-in. That's defamation of my character. Please take a picture of what Richard Wake just said. There was no illegal break-in because the cops never arrested anyone. That was a civil incident. It was a member protest. So when Richard Wake says that where union documents were stolen, I was never prosecuted for stealing anything. You're defaming my character, Richard Wake. This is going to catch up to you. And I want everyone on Facebook to take a picture of what he just said about this. And when you take that picture, put it up on my Facebook page, R.L. Brown. He's defaming my character. There was no illegal break-in on March 5th. The cops came, the cops left. They never arrested anyone. I was never arrested for anything. No union documents were stolen. And then when that HR 1 process is completed, you will see that arbitrator state nothing was stolen from that union because they could not prove whatever they said was stolen was an absolute lie. That's defamation of my character. And this is why I keep addressing Richard Wake, because he keeps running his mouth. And the more he runs his mouth, the more you see how he's defaming me. He's trying to say that I'm crazy and that I'm this and that. And I've told everyone my mother is mentally ill. She's passed away. She was diagnosed. I am not mentally ill. You're defaming my character, Richard Wake. And I've told you this repeatedly. Take a picture of everything he says. Someone should be, every time he posts something, copy it. Copy it. And if I say something to him, he said, oh, Richard's a little rough, you copy that too. I'm so sorry, Jackie. Go ahead. So you were saying that you want to sign the petition, that you're a little, that you said you were, quote, angry that our money's being used against us and that they don't care. And they're basically taking our money and saying, we're going to keep taking your money and we'll do what we want to do. We don't care what you feel. That's where you were at.
What you have to say, how you voted, nothing.
Okay.
We got the dog wagging the tail. It's what it sounds like here. That's what this is going on right now. And listen, everybody, for those who are coming in under us, if you're of a certain age and you got another 25 years to do or 15 years to do, listen. If Yvonne and I don't know, I know what we have found out. She was spending money and taking our money when she was in charge with the union. What do you think she's going to do with the money she's going to be over with and have influence over about your retirement?
Girl, you said a word. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Watch out for that.
It's coming. Listen, somebody, listen, please. It's coming. She's already told you who she is. She's told you who she is. She's the person, when given the opportunity, will take money that she thinks is owed to her, due her, won't hurt if she takes it. Everybody else will be fine. What do you think she's going to do with having access to more money and more people who she feels will come behind to fill the coffers? So what if you don't get any money when you retire? There's other people who are coming behind you, and they'll just fill the coffers for the next group. There's just going to be some of you who will be out. Who doesn't think that that's a possibility?
Pause for 1 second, Jackie. Before E.B. Lynch jumps back on, let me try to jump her. You're right, Jackie. All right, so let me change my tone for a second. Jackie Pace, you're 1,000%. Yvonne Walker didn't win 50% or more in the first election for CalPERS. She won the second time by more than 50%. So all the lies and things that she's done over the years didn't even matter. She still won the CalPERS seat. This is a tragedy. Now, I said, I wish anybody who works for the state of California whether they're part of our union or not part of our union, nothing but happiness in your retirement, and collect every dime you can from CalPERS on a monthly basis. I wish you nothing but success in your retirement years. Now, she won on the second go around. I think that's a tragedy, because how her actions and her behavior. I'm not talking about her behavior, because she's always carried herself as an outstanding, amazing African American woman. Period. And even when she was acting ugly or bad, you never saw it out in the open. So I'm gonna give her the utmost respect on that. So you, as Jackie, as a black woman, and Evie Lynch, born in Nigeria, and Yolanda Williams, another black woman, I'm gonna always respect black women. Even my ex-wife that drives me crazy to this day, I'm gonna respect black women. But some of the decisions that people from our community make, I don't agree with, particularly Yvonne Walker. So you're right on that. But the voters voted, and they still put her in that CalPERS seat. Now, that 400,000 plus that she got from SEIU International, did that help her defeat Randy Cheek? Yes. Yes. And so what you're seeing is, let's just be honest, Jackie. The only way she got there was through me. So part of this is my fault. I shouldn't have won the election. But now she's on the CalPERS board where she can really do damage to us. Go ahead, Jackie.
Yes, we can put some of this at your feet, but she would have ended up here eventually.
Eventually, okay.
Because she was going to at some point have to leave SEIU as the president, in my opinion. At some point that was going to come to an end because she had her goals set on something higher now. She had tapped this out for all it's worth. It was time to move on to a bigger fish. I mean, listen, again, she's telling you, letting you know who she is at every turn. She has and I typically say the same thing. If you can get money from the state, I don't believe in giving back anything to the state if you worked hard all your life. Don't give back your house. Don't give back your retirement money. Get all of your money. Don't let none of it go back. You worked hard for all of that. I'm of that mind, okay? But you also can't rob me, and I'd be okay with that. You're not going to be friends if you take my money. We're just not going to be friends. We're not friends. Because you're telling me from the beginning, when you slide money out of my pocket, put it into yours, you already told me we're not friends. And I'm going to act accordingly. You're not friends. You don't get near my pocketbook. Okay? I'm not going to leave you in my house to walk around my house to steal from me. I'm going to watch you at every moment you're in my house. And y'all just, all I'm saying, people need to watch them. I'm not bad-mouthing her per se. I'm just saying people need to keep an eye on their money. Your retirement money. Don't close your eyes if you got more than 5 years to do work in the state of California. Watch your retirement. Keep up in the news what's going on with your retirement. They're going to tap that out. There will be none, people.
So
your children, your grandchildren, anybody you love who's going to work more than 5 years for the state of California. She stole from us and went on a trip. What do you think might happen if she's got money she can do some more things with? She was an office technician.
No, she was a legal secretary. That's what that was her job. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you for correcting me for that.
It's okay.
But I'm mad. I don't like I say, I don't want to pay somebody to steal from me.
Right.
I'm paying for that privilege. I don't like that. And I don't like that I'm hearing about what they did at the board. Got this group doing this over here with that group. Are you kidding me right now? And again, my money is paying for this lie. My money is paying this illegal
chair transit. So this is why I said, let me change my tone and how I'm talking about this particular situation at the end of this video. Yvonne Walker won an election. Did she have a massive amount of help? Yes, but she won. So do I like that she won? No, I don't. But I wish her success in her retirement. But here's where I have to stay true. She won the election. And she didn't cheat or do anything like that. At least not to my knowledge. And Randall cheat.
It was my donation from me working at SEIU. That's my money, Mr. Brown. I did not want my money to be used for that. I don't want my. No. And I ain't saying she cheated either, Mr. Brown. Let me be clear. Let me say this for the record. I ain't saying that. I'm not implying that. But you got that with my money, which should not have been used. You would have done that with. That was inappropriate, especially with how you spent my money already.
No, stay with me. My heater's coming back on, so I want everyone to hear this. So I'm gonna talk loud. Jackie Pace said that, Yvonne won with some of our money from Local 1000. I can't remember how much Local 1000 gave her in this election. Trust me, if I had that number, I would tell you. All right? I don't know. And to make things worse, Jackie Pace, Teresa Taylor also got some money from Local 1000. Now, Teresa Taylor, who sits on the board of CalPERS, who's the DLC 786 president, that told me to suck a dick. They say that she said that she didn't take the money. Even though they approved for her to get the money, she said she didn't need the money. When I asked in January of this year, was she running for CalPERS board or whatever? No, the political analyst, whatever, Omega Brewer said no, she didn't know. So she could have got money from us too. She claimed she didn't take the money. Did she still get some money? She probably did. Can I prove it? No, because they won't give me the financials. Now, a lot of people agree with you, Jackie Pace, before E.B. Lynch jumps back on here and says the same thing. You're right. But we have to respect election results. This is where I show my trueness that Mario was talking about. If we want these people in this union to respect the fact that I won an election, then we have to respect the fact that she won an election later down the road as well. Even though we may have contributed to it and we didn't want to. That's on me, you, and everyone else. Y'all are free to say and do what y'all want to do. But if I say you must respect my election victory, then I must respect Yvonne Walker's election victory. That's where I have to stay consistent. You don't, no one else has to. All right. No.
Because she has won that. And I'll pick you on that.
Okay.
I'm not taking back nothing that she has won. I'm taking back the possibility because she won the money that shouldn't. I didn't vote for that. I didn't want my money to go for that. I don't think it's right that SEIU used some of my money to do that. I don't think they should have done that without making it clear for people to understand what they were, some of their money was possibly being used on. We ought to always have to say how our money is being used. Because it's being used against us. I don't know. Don't use my money against me to undercut me in some other form or fashion. I'm not going along with that. I'm going to be respectful in terms of she's won this election. I'm not going to ask for her recall or for her to get out of that seat. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I are her while she's in charge of the money. And I don't think that was right. The spirit of that election, how it came about, and the other thing, I'm never going to give money to nobody who's a racist against women. No, you're a racist, and you're doing racist things, saying racial stuff. I'm not, again, undercutting me and my family and our people, my community. I'm not giving you one fair and on purpose around. That is not beneficial to me. That's hurting me in every single turn. And I'm paying for the privilege to be hurt financially, spiritually. No, it's going to be in charge of me over my money, over my retirement, over my health insurance, and I'm going to pay for a race to be in charge of that. No, sir, no, ma'am, never. I'm never going to be okay with that. That's not how it should be done. I don't know why anybody would think, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that.
So, everyone on Facebook, because my heater came back on, I couldn't take the cold tonight. I had to make sure this heat was on. Listen. Hold on. Everybody on Facebook, take a picture of Richard Wiggs saying you're wrong again. Regular union dues are not spent on political campaigns of any kind. That's a lie. That's an absolute lie. That's defamation again. This man is absolute lying and lying and lying. Your money is used on politics. That's why they had the Supreme Court case, and that's what the Supreme Court said in the Janus decision on June 27th, 2018. You will no longer automatically take money from non-members because you're using your money on politics. Richard Wake. And you're going to run for Sacramento mayor? You don't have a clue. Now, back to what Jackie Pace is saying. You're not going to use her money to undercut her, undermine her. She's not going to support racists. She's referring to Teresa Taylor telling me to suck a dick. And I'm saying it for her again loud on Facebook because my heater came on and you may not be able to hear. Lo Michelle, just ignore him, laugh out loud. You're right, I should ignore him. But you know why I won't ignore him? Because he's spreading evilness. You cannot allow the poison or the cancer to go into your body and you don't do something about it. You must address the cancer or the cancer has a possibility to destroy you. And that's what Richard Wake is symbolically. He's an evil, malignant, I don't know if it's malignant or whatever, but he's a cancer. And he's trying to destroy the body of Local 1000. That's what he's doing, and that's why I won't ignore him. Now, I see Mary Dela Cruz with her hand up. So if she puts her hand back up, I'll have her come right back on. Jackie Pace is right about this. I have not been able to articulate, it is now 8:17. I have never really been able to articulate well enough to everyone's satisfaction, and this is how I said everyone's satisfaction. Okay, good night, Mary Dela Cruz. Have a good Christmas, if I don't talk to you before then. Why you should continue to pay your dues even though your union is misusing your money. And the answer is we have to pay our dues in life. And sometimes those are, emotional dues, psychological dues, and sometimes they're financial dues. If things go tough and you quit paying your money to the union, and then you say, okay, Richard, you're back, I'll come back again. Where was your dedication during the rough times to keep paying money? Where was your dedication at? Because if things get tough, you just pull your dues whenever something doesn't go right, then you're not disciplined. You're not dedicated. So you're missing the 3 Ds. Dedicated, disciplined, determined. And let me put the 4th D in there for you. Devoted. I'm dedicated to this union, even when they call me a nigger. You say, well, wow, that's amazing, Richard. Well, no, I'm an African American. A lot of black folks are dedicated to this country, even though they've called us nigger from the time we got over here as the enslaved African. Discipline. It takes discipline because discipline kind of leads into sacrifice. Most people don't understand that. Even people in Hollywood, they say people in Hollywood have sold their souls and whatever. That took a sacrifice. I don't know if it's true or not, but that took sacrifice. Even the people in D.C., those Congress women and men in both the Senate and the House of Representatives, people say they've all sold out, that they don't really care for us anymore. That took a sacrifice for them to sell out and tell those lies over and over again in different forms and versions. Determined. In order to be a champion, you have to be determined. They told me after my first go-around in 2015, quit, go away. Nope. They told me in 2018, quit, go away. Nope. I was determined. I said, she can be beat. Yvonne Walker can be beat. And I was right. Devoted. Some people have told me, you ain't got no life, Richard Lewis Brown. You're right, I don't. This is my life. Yeah, I ain't got nothing else. Not that I'm not trying. We'll stop here. All right. It is now 8:21 on December 12th. No, December 21st, 2022. I get that 12 stuck in my head. I want to thank everyone tonight because y'all could have, good night, Peter. Y'all could have easily said the heck with tonight. Will I do one next Wednesday night? Probably. I need your support. I want to tell everyone, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. Kwanzaa, for those in the community. And to all others who don't celebrate the holidays, I wish you nothing but some well-deserved rest, some time off from work, hopefully. And we're going to keep fighting. And even though it seems like all hope is lost, all hope is not lost. I appreciate you, Lo Michelle, Tina Terry, everyone on Facebook. Thank you. Because you have to have some courage of your convictions to get on Facebook and talk to these people. You have to be a little silly. All right. We're done. I am Richard Lewis Brown. And today's been December 21st, 2022. Mwah! Have a great night. Good night, everyone.